So today I wanted to go over what I see as some opportunities here in Japan in regards to the current kind of modern situation where Pokemon companies kind of really overprinting modern sets, basically printing them into the ground. The last sort of like 5 or 6 sets have been really overprinted. So much so that sort of like 3 or 4 sets back, some department stores are now actually offering 10% discount off of retail price for a kind of fixed period of time. I think until the end of this month, end of June. So I've never seen Pokemon sets being given a discount off of retail in the last 5 years. I haven't seen that happen, so that's new. But it's created some opportunities. Since, I would say for 3 or 4 years, I've been talking about promos because the market needs to go somewhere. So I've definitely seen Pikachu promos doing really well across the board, and other promos as well, which are holding their ground, and they're sort of like the gold of the Pokemon market. They're trusted, and they always do very well. So I've seen a surge in prices for Pikachu promos again, and I believe that they will do well. And I have seen other promos also doing fairly well in the market. Especially for graded cards as well, which is becoming more popular in Japan. After that, I would say the poor man alt arts market, which is the Japanese alt art, modern alt arts, they are, in my opinion, prime time to buy. Everyone's focusing on the English, and people are a bit wary of the Japanese alt arts because of what they've seen on the box side, the modern new sets. They've seen them take a dive because they've been overprinted. So I feel a lot of people are steering away from the Japanese alt art sort of like cards, and the English ones are really like going to the moon at the moment, and the Japanese ones have kind of come down. Not a great deal, they're still not cheap cards, but I think there will be a time that people come back to these cards because they're just as hard to pull, if not harder. So I think that could be something to consider. I am definitely looking at a few cards at the moment and thinking about picking up some of those and getting those graded. So that's something to keep on people's radar. No financial advice, but just my opinion on that. The other area I'm seeing is outside of Pokemon is One Piece. One Piece, there are a number of promos that are doing well as well. We have the 2nd year anniversary book, collector's book coming out, which will have 2 promos in that. That's coming out on the 4th of July. I reckon that's a no-brainer. The 1 year anniversary book, that was definitely a no-brainer. There was 2 promos in there. Get those graded PSA 10s. They're $100 each, $200 for the pair. You could pick the book up for 1,800 yen, which is just over $12 US. So I mean, with the next anniversary book coming out on the 4th of July with 2 promos in there, I think that's worth picking up. I'm going to pick up 5. I'm hesitant about picking up 10 books because of the real estate it's going to take up in my collection, but I'm definitely going to pick up 5 books for the promos. So yeah, that's another area that's doing really well at the moment. I do think that there will be some opportunities coming up on tag team, just rare, double rare cards, not the SRs but the double rare cards. I am seeing movement on those cards, sort of like from 300 yen up to 1,000 yen, and some of them are up to 1,500 yen. You can still pick those up at flea markets here in Japan for 100 yen, a couple hundred yen. but they are starting to sell in the card shops for higher prices. Like I said, anything from 400 yen to 1,500 yen. Graded, they do very well, sort of like overseas. So that's something, if you've got access to the Japanese market, something to consider. The SR cards from the tag team sets are doing very, very well. I kind of cleared out a drawer and looked at some old cards yesterday and checked the prices. I was surprised that I thought they'd be like, I don't know, 1,000 yen, 2,000 yen. Some of those cards raw were 8,000 yen. That's, you know, that's like $55, right? It's like, that's ungraded, right? So I give them a couple more years, and yeah, I think they'll do really, really well. So definitely something to look at. Japanese market is cheap right now. If you're buying with pounds or US dollars, you cannot go wrong. Again, no financial advice, but it just a golden time to buy up some of these cards, I think. So yeah, let me know in the comments if there are any cards that you're looking at the moment that you think could do well from the Japanese market, or if you have any other kind of like ideas on what cards you think will do well. That will be really, really interesting to hear from. And thank you very much for listening, and bye from Tokyo.